So yeah, we've been walking around the show floor and talking about MoQ.
So MoQ is a new protocol being developed at the IETF. It builds on QUIC, which is something that Cloudflare has been investing in for a long time. But it now takes some of those interesting transport properties, the multiplexing, semi-reliable delivery, and enables you to do them at scale through fan-out infrastructure. So this sits somewhere, in between some of the affordances of WebRTC and HTTP delivery, and kind of gives you a lot of control over your delivery of media.
This is a good example. So this is one of our workflows. Norsk is a workflow builder. Drag and drop, connect the box, lots and lots of functionality. Won't go into all of it now. But many of our workflow components have a monitoring preview window. And historically, we used to use WebRTC for ultra-low latency video. We would also occasionally, for low bandwidth environments, switch to 1 frame a second JPEG. But whenever we wanted to do the real-time monitoring of video, we were using WebRTC, and WebRTC comes with some inherent network challenges with stun and turn and so on. So not infrequently, our users would launch Norsk, would set it up, but they'd have a black screen where they had the preview window, and we'd have to get into their network and work out how their networking could sort out the stun and turn negotiation. MoQ removes that problem. You can just hit play, the preview windows show up. So in a very practical way, it's solving a direct problem in the real world for us. It's making it easier for our users to use MoQ. So MoQ is coming, and it's certainly got use for us.
So your take on to MoQ or not to MoQ is?
To MoQ, yeah.
Thank you, Dom.
We are seeing different use cases for where we see that MoQ has advantage compared to other protocol. First of all is sub-second large-scale distribution to large audience, especially for sport events, which is very important. So this is a very important use case. But we see also MoQ in the real-time communication space as kind of competitor for WebRTC, because nowadays WebRTC is let's say, supporting real-time communication, but there are some overhead with all the stun, third server infrastructure and so on needed to run WebRTC, and MoQ do it is much simpler. And we see also a third use case, which is basically cloud gaming, cloud game streaming. So basically, you have much more control on application level to tweak the latency compared to other protocols. So these are the 3 use cases where we see MoQ is an advantage compared to other protocols.
We're very excited about the possibilities that the QUIC protocol provides, both around ability to innovate over the data that's flowing over the network without the CDN or whoever needing to care about that data, much like HTTP offers people doing standard web stuff. Also the ability for clients to be in control of latency. Right now that tends to be a thing that's fixed on the server side. You either run something like HLS or Dash and you take the latency that's fixed by your segment size or whatever, or you run with WebRTC and you've got no latency whatsoever, but you have all the quality issues. That's frustrating that there's nothing in between. MoQ gives us the ability to offer our customers the scope for them to offer their customers the ability to tune that. So you can have some customers that maybe are interested in total real time and accept the fact that every now and then there'll be some quality issues, and other customers that want the pure quality and don't mind that they're 5 seconds behind real time. They can now do that on a customer per customer basis, client per client basis. That's super powerful.
But it really helps in any time that you're even considering WebRTC, because MoQ can now handle any gamut of the latency. You can have some people want real time, some people want higher latency, some people want VOD. It can do contribution, it can do whatever. And that's actually mostly where my interest is coming from. My background is trying to get rid of WebRTC. I hate the protocol. That's what my last job at Discord was. And people are using it for drones, and people are using it for security cameras, and people are using it for defense contractors and stuff. That's the current in production use case, but it also just helps if you latency is your number one issue. I would say is the main benefit of MoQ for mass distribution.
And so I have one more question, which is about the state of standardization. So I mean, it's very much ongoing, but I'm a standardization guy, so I've been at ITU and various forums. So can you give me a 30-second rundown of what's the current state and what the next steps are?
So for context, I wrote the first IETF draft, so I officially created it. but it's been a while. It's been standards are hard, especially with you have experimental protocols. So this is not something that's running in production. People are trying to standardize and come together. This is like people have ideas on how to do it, and coming to a consensus on ideas is really hard because you don't have data points. So my advice now is don't wait for the standard, because we know what it looks like, and we know what the standard when it's fully deployed by CDNs will look like. But like if you own the player, the broadcaster, you own both sides, you don't need a standard. You only need a standard if you eventually want to offload to like Cloudflare or a CDN, or you want to have like my OBS plugin or GStreamer plugin, or you want to use an existing player. So I would generally say like now's the time for pilots, and knowing that the standard is coming. It's an IETF thing. It's going to be huge. But like nobody knows what they're doing, and experimentation is needed more than anything else right now.